You guys have terrific news. The Discord is back. And if you're wondering, hey, I've been on the Discord, it's still around. The Nando v Movies Discord is still around. What I mean by it's back is, and here's the story. If you're not familiar with the deep Nando v Movies Discord lore, here's just a taste of it. Originally, I created a Discord. And it was one of those things that when you make a YouTube channel, people are like, you should do this, you should do that. And like they said, you should do Patreon, so I did a Patreon. I kind of understood what Patreon was. I was like, I'm going to make rewards and all this and that. With Discord, it was like, you should have one. And I was like, well, you should have one because maybe this will be something that'll be a big deal, or maybe it'll kind of come and go. And I didn't really know what the deal was with Discord. I didn't know how to use it, and I started using it with some other friends, but I wasn't using it so often that I would check on other Discord servers, and it became something that I kind of took my foot off the gas with. And the people on the Discord server, because we did have mods, we still have mods, and we still have like people on the back end who were running it and were turning it into something cool, and they kept going with it. But as the person whose name the Discord was, me not being on it was like, well, that's not really very good for me. And also, just like, if you come to this server as a fan of my videos, you expect to see me there or a conversation about the video. So what we did was I went back and we kind of retooled some of it. We kept most of the stuff that was already working. We didn't want to throw anything out that was good. Not that things we threw out weren't good, but there were certain things we threw out where it's like, yeah, we have this category, nobody really uses it, and we didn't want to have a huge clutter on the sidebar where there's like 50 different channels. So we kind of pared some of those down. We added things that I've always wanted in a Discord, things that will make it easier for me to use constantly, and things that will be fun there. So like, for instance, Proof Watchers is something that I do where I will tweet out like, hey, anybody want to watch my video early? And the kind of deal is like, you get to watch it early, and when you're done, you tell me if there were any mistakes or anything like that, like really small editing mistakes that, like, because I've watched the video a million times, I can't see. The way I usually do this is I tweet it out, and then you DM me and I send you the video, and it's a lot. And what I've decided to do is I'm going to make that part of the Discord server. So you would go on the Discord and there'd be a message to everybody with that role and be like, hey, if anybody wants to proof watch this video, let me know. It's in the thing. And that's kind of how we're going to use the Discord server to do things that I had been doing in other channels less effectively. Or perhaps in the case of Twitter, in a way where the channel itself may disintegrate because some dummy decided to fire everybody that knew how it worked. So, I don't want to rest my entire, structure of how I organize the channel with Twitter being a big component of it. Should Twitter just, dissolve in the next 24 hours. You never know. It's fun. It's a fun world we live in where we are helpless to the whims of the most thin-skinned billionaires on the planet. There's like 5 or 6 of them, and they're in charge of everything. So part of it is that. Part of it is just like Discord is better for that. Like a server is better for that than like 5 DMs going at once. Another thing Discord's better at, organizing discussions with patrons. So right now I have the Illuminati tier where those patrons get to vote on what we talk about in the live stream video for that month, and I'm going to move that over to Discord. Still going to be those patrons, but you're going to get a special role, and that is in a room, so that I'm not messaging everybody constantly. It's like, hey, here's, put your suggestions here, and we'll vote on them. It'll be kind of like a discussion, that sort of thing. I don't think Patreon is particularly good for stuff like that. It's not an app that people check that often. You check Patreon when you get a message for it. Whereas Discord has become something a lot of people check pretty much constantly. You'll like go through so many different servers. So I think that's better for that too. And Nebula videos, currently Nebula doesn't have comments, which I think is great. I totally understand why we do that, but there's really nowhere to have a conversation about the video right after it comes out, besides just like people replying to the tweet that I'll usually put out, which again, using Twitter, so not great, but also just like that it's not a discussion. It's not like, oh, hey, I like this casting, I didn't like this casting. And what I'm going to do now is there's going to be just a Nebula part of the Discord server where the links will show up. So if you have Nebula, you'll be able to watch the video, and then they'll have a discussion there. People say what they like, what they don't like about the video, all that stuff. But the big thing is, I've been talking with the mods and like kind of figuring this out. I want this Discord server to be somewhere where you go when a Kraven trailer comes out or something like that. We're going to have discussions that are going to be updated very regularly. We're going to have spoiler talk on like Secret Invasion, which is the current show. There is a spoiler channel for that where I pop in and talk, and I'm going to be interacting with the server more. And I know I've probably said that once or twice before, but This is why it's different now. One, I use Discord way more now. And like in the last year, I've started using Discord a lot more now. And that's big because it's something that I do check very frequently. And second, we haven't made humongous changes to the Nando V Movies Discord. However, the way things are organized and the expectations for things like, posting a podcast, posting Nando cut videos, stuff like that, it does make it easier for me to engage with, and that means I'm going to do it more. So, I think it's fun. I like having like the spoiler talk so far, having, Secret Invasion episode comes out, Theory comes from the thing that everybody's talking about when it comes to Secret Invasion, and then we're able to all kind of chat through that on the Discord channel. I think it's fun. I keep saying the word channel. It's probably channel and server. I'm using them interchangeably, but you guys know what I mean. So for those two reasons, and I guess the secret third reason of the Twitter is, a hellscape that is toppling on the edge of being completely unusable forever. And I don't want to really, I want to try to diversify the places where we all communicate and talk about shows and movies and my videos and podcasts and things like that. I want to really make a community. This is a genuine effort to turn this into that. So if you've ever thought about it before, I'm going to put the links in the thing for Discord. You get invited and everything like that. And if you're a patron and you don't already have the link to join up, just let me know. Message one of the mods or something like that. We'll hook you up. And yeah, you will see me on the Discord server. If you have any questions or anything like that, anything you want to suggest, things you want to change, or like, oh, you should definitely put, different, like, because there's also a lot of functionality within Discord that changes a lot. So we're still kind of learning how some of that works. Like there's a kind of message board feature that is super useful for the spoiler chats, but we're, just figuring that out. So if anybody has suggestions on how to run that differently, that would be super helpful. But yeah, that's really it. So thank you to everybody who is currently on the Discord server who has been helping out with this change, and like everybody that's kind of been working with us, because we've been kind of deleting stuff, moving stuff around, so like that can be kind of confusing. But from now on, from this point on, Nando V Movies, we're calling it Rebirth. We want to do like a branding thing as a joke, kind of how like comic book universes constantly rebrand themselves with like, oh, new starting point, everybody, Ultimate. But we tried with like Ultimate Nando, all new, all different Nando V Movies Discord. But I think it's Nando V Movies Rebirth is the best way for it. Also because just that's one of the ones that I think is the best. Like I think DC Rebirth is way better than New 52 in terms of like a franchise-wide rebrand that I would want to emulate. I feel like it would be, if I called it like Nando V Movies New 52 Discord, that would be setting it up for a disaster. So we're not doing that. We're doing Rebirth. So that's what this is. So thank you everybody that's worked with us. I hope to see you all on Discord, and it'll be fun. So goodbye.